What's going on, everybody? My name is Nate and you're watching Nate's Road Life. Today we're going to be changing the AC condenser in this 2012 Ram 3500. Looks like it's going to be pretty straightforward. I don't know, let's see how it goes. Alright y'all, very first thing you're going to do, got to remove this plastic piece here. There's 4 little pins, one here, one right there, and one over here. You pop them things loose with a screwdriver. It's not that big of a deal. I already got them loose. Here it is. After you do that, you got 4 bolts. One here, one here, one here, one here. You take them loose, they're 10 millimeter, all right? Get you a 10 millimeter socket, pop them loose. I'll holler back at you here in just a second once I get them out. All right, one thing to note when you're doing this is one of the bolts. Here's the other bolt. This one has got a coarse thread and it's longer. This one is a fine thread and it's shorter. The ones with coarse threads go on the 2 outside spots, okay? The ones with the fine threads go on the 2 inside spots. Coarse threads into plastic, fine threads into steel. Once you get them taken loose, you got 2 clips, one right down there and then one right there. We're just going to pop them loose. It's pretty simple. See if I can get in there. This is already popped loose, but it's up in there like that. All you have to do is pick up on the grill and pull back. Let me see if I can get you some footage of that. Alright, so the way that I did this, I just stuck my hand through the bottom of the grill, grab a hold of it right here. And then I just reach down inside the grill and use my hand to push back on it. Just pick up and pull back. It'll pop loose. It's just these little metal clips, that's all it is. Alright guys, so we're having some audio difficulties. You might have realized that the audio is only playing out of one side of your headphones if you're listening to headphones, but anyway, so I had to re-record this. So if you have an automatic transmission on your truck, then your AC condenser is also a transmission cooler. It's all in one. So what I'm trying to do here is tell you that these 2 lines right here are your transmission lines. There's a little spring clip that's in there. You just pop them loose. We're about ready to have a little close-up of it, show you how to get them loose, and then them transmission lines come right out. Let's check it out. Alright, so I'm trying to get you guys as close up as I can. Here's this little clip. So you just take a little pick, pop it loose, just like that. This is the clip. Alright, it just goes in there. Be careful because these things go flying across the shop. Now, if you've got a brand new AC condenser with a new transmission cooler, it should come with brand new clips, but just to be safe, because these things are easy to lose. They will go flying across the shop. Alright, so in this clip I've got the spring clips popped out of the transmission lines, and I'm trying to explain to you that once you got them loose, you just wiggle them back and forth and pick up at the same time, and they should come loose. Now this one here, I had already wiggled it back and forth and got it loose. It popped out fairly easy, as you see, because I had already done all the work, but I'm trying to explain here that you're going to lose a little bit of transmission fluid, you know, when it pops loose. Your other side is the low side. You're going to lose more on it than you did on the other side, obviously, because, you know, it's lower and there's fluid in there. But so you jiggle it back and forth, pop it loose. See, there you go. We're losing some transmission fluid, but that's to be expected. It's not too much, maybe a half a quart total in there, if even that much. I just stick a rag in the end of it to kind of seal up the hole and make it stop leaking out. Alright, so now I'm trying to explain to you that since you've got them loose, there is an AC lines running right here. They run up, they're bolted from the other side. I believe it's 2 12 millimeter bolts right back in there, but you can't hardly get to them because the air box is in the way. See, there's the bolts. I'm trying to show you. You can't see them very good, but anyway. So we got to take the air box loose, and in order to do that, you've got some 5/16 bolts to take loose and a 1/2 inch right there where my finger's at. So you take them bolts loose to 5/16, or some trucks have got little clips instead of bolts. And then you take the band loose up there, take the box off, take that bolt out, and then the whole thing just pulls straight out. Then you have an open hole, you can access them. All right, now that we got the air box out, you can see a little bit better. There's one bolt here and one bolt right down here. They're 12 millimeter, okay? We're gonna take them loose, pop these lines out. Now, one thing that I must state before we do this, okay? If you are changing this because you need a new transmission cooler and your AC system is still functioning properly, you have to evacuate the HVAC system first, because it's gonna be under pressure. It's gonna have refrigerant in it, okay? In my case, I'm changing this out because the condenser was damaged. It had a hole in it. So there's no Freon in my system anymore. It all escaped whenever the rock or whatever it was hit the condenser, poked a hole in it. But if your condenser is still in good shape, your AC is still working just fine, you're changing this because something is wrong with your transmission cooler, you need to evacuate the HVAC system first, okay? So you're either gonna need an approved canister that you can evacuate it into, or you need to take it to someone who can do it. You do not just wanna go unbolting this stuff without doing that, for a couple of reasons. One, it's under pressure, okay? So if you unbolt it, there's a possibility that you could get injured by all that pressure blown out. I mean, there's, on a hot day, you know, there could be a couple hundred PSI in that, and that's not good, you know. There's a compressed liquid in there, so when you unbolt it, that's gonna boil off immediately, and it's gonna expand a lot. It's not just gonna be a done, it's gonna be a lot coming out, you know. So it can hurt you. Secondly, it is bad for the environment. Refrigerant is not good for the environment. So please, please, if your AC system is still good and you're changing out a condenser because you're actually trying to change the transmission cooler, make sure that you get the system evacuated prior to doing this. That being said, we're gonna go ahead and take them two bolts out, disconnect those lines, and we'll get back with you in just a second. All right, once you get them two bolts taken loose and these lines are broke free, they're on the other side of here, right? These lines go up and then they're bolted into them. To take these lines off, there's one bolt. It's right here where my finger is, but it's from the other side, okay? It's a 10 millimeter bolt, that's all it is. Go ahead and take it loose. I would show it to you guys, but it's gonna be difficult to see. So I'm just gonna pop it loose right quick. Like I said, 10 millimeter, take it loose, no big thing, and then these lines will be free. Well, if you're like me, the bolt will break off. I guess that's what happens when you got steel going into aluminum. It corrodes. Nonetheless, it's free. All right, now that that's taken care of, everything's unbolted. Now, all that's left to do is actually unbolt this system, all right? So, let me get you back here just a little bit. You got just a few bolts. One here, one here, one right there, and then there's a bolt right here on your transmission line that I already took loose before I pulled that off. They're all 410 millimeter. So we'll take these 10 millimeter out right quick, and then this transmission cooler slash AC condenser ought to be ready to come out of the truck. All right, now that all the bolts are loose, this thing is free. Don't forget, you got two rubber bushings. You're gonna need those on your new one, so don't throw them away. Once you get that taken care of, this thing ought to just pull right on out, just like that. So let's go get the new one and get her put in. All right, so here's the new AC condenser. I'm gonna go ahead and first check this stuff out and make sure that there's no dirt in these. I didn't really think about that, but need to make sure they're somewhat clean. Don't want to be introducing a bunch of dirt into the system. All right, so now we'll start setting this down inside of there. Something don't seem right here because something isn't right here. I don't know how well you guys can see that. You see where these lines go as compared to where those lines go. They're bent different, quite a bit different actually. So that kind of sucks. I'm gonna see if I can persuade them to move over where they need to go. Everything else lines up, all the brackets seem to line up. It's just that line. That works out better. I bet this thing got bent in the box, honestly. I don't know. Let's set it back up there and see how it goes. Well, so far that's better. It definitely fell into place a whole lot easier. Don't forget your rubber bushings go on here. See if I can remember which bolt it is. Just get them started. You don't have to tighten them down real tight or nothing. Just get everything kind of started. All right, so now we got this condenser back in. I'm gonna go ahead and bolt up these AC lines over here, all right? Unfortunately, it did not come with new gaskets for these lines, so hopefully the old ones will still work just fine. We'll see. That being said, I'm gonna hook these up and then I'm gonna hook up AC gauges and pull a vacuum on this to make sure that it's gonna hold before I go any further, because I do not wanna put all this together just to find out that the AC will not hold a vacuum. So I'll be right back with you. If you need to see how to pull a vacuum on an AC system, I have a video about how to recharge an AC system. I'll try to leave a link to that up top. Anyway, let me get after this. I'll get back with you once we find out it's all good. All right, y'all, I pumped the system down. She's been holding for probably over a half hour now. Everything seems to be fine. So I went ahead and tightened these down. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. I cleaned these off with a rag. I'm gonna put just a little bit of oil around them, just so that way help them slide in, because there's an O-ring inside of here is what that is. It just slides in. And you know them little springs that we took out before we took these lines off? Well, that's what's on here again. You just slide it in and it snaps in place. So let's get that rocking and rolling. We'll get ready to put this whole truck back together. All right, so you just push it in, and as you push it in, it's tapered. This is tapered. I don't know how well you can see it, but anyway, when you push it down, that taperedness pushes that spring apart like that, and then it slides down, and once it slides past, and that spring latches back and holds it in. Just like that, all there is to it. So now, we put the grill back in. It's just reverse of what we did earlier. Put the grill back in. It's got 4 bolts. Oh, hold on, hey, actually, we gotta put this bolt in right here, hold the transmission line. All right, so put the grill back in, same way. You got these tabs here and there. We'll put them in on the bottom first to push them in, and then we got 4 bolts across the top. Remember, bolts with the fine threads go in the center. Coarse threads go on the outsides. $10mm, snug them up. One more thing that you need to take into consideration is that whenever this happened, we lost, I don't know, a half a quart of transmission fluid probably. I mean, it wasn't anything crazy, but we did lose a little bit. So you need to check your transmission whenever this is all said and done and ensure that you have the proper amount of transmission fluid, all right? Last thing you want to do is not have enough transmission fluid. That is not good. The other thing is, once this gets all said and done, you're going to have to verify that there's no leaks. It's easy to see through the grill. You can see right here the one fitting, and then the other one's right there. You can see it from this angle. We'll just have to run it for a little while and make sure that there's no leaks. If there are, we'll have to cross that bridge when we get there. So now we'll throw that plastic piece back in, and this project is done with the exception of charging the AC system, which I'm going to do off camera because I have a video about how to charge AC systems. Go watch that. So let's put that plastic piece back in, call this a day. All right, just 4 push pins. This one doesn't want to go back in. There's always one that just has to be a pain. There it goes. That's it. That's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Well, if you made it this far, I really appreciate it. I'd be honored if you would like, comment, subscribe. Let me know. Let me know if there's something else that you guys want to see done. I'm always working on this thing. I do all my maintenance myself with the exception of the head gasket. That's the only thing that I didn't do, and that was only because I just didn't have the time to. I'm always doing something. It's nothing to pick up a camera and record it, and I try to anymore because there's there's videos on YouTube of how to do this, but I don't know, I try to be a little bit more in depth than some others are. So anyway, like I said, like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate the view. Till next time.